Let me make sure this is, got it, we're good on that. Setting up your meeting for YouTube Live. All right. Oh, I gotta stop that because it's going to be really annoying. Okay, let's try. All right, the quality can only be 1020, unfortunately. But
How would we lose a basketball and a helmet somewhere in the last 3 weeks?
The helmet's still in there.
Okay.
So-
we ran out of room.
Okay.
we are live if you want to come look at the quality of it.
Okay.
You can probably refresh that and it'll show up maybe.
Okay.
Because the quality does not look very good on YouTube. I think it looks fine, actually. No, that looks good. Okay. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, we can exit that. Actually, we'll just. All right, so we know that the sound works well. All right, we're good. We're good. So you're live.
All right.
So when we get to the video part, what do we do?
So I'll help you out with that. When you get to that point.
We're ready for help.
I thought you wanted to do an intro.
We do. It's going to take like a minute.
Okay.
We're already doing it, I guess, right?
Yep, you're live.
Which camera are we using?
You're using that one.
Hi.
Not this one.
Let's put Chris in here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Amanda. It's our producer, Amanda, who also wears every other hat in the studio, in the agency, and probably the world soon. So, hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. It's our fourth show. So
Very exciting.
I know,
yeah.
I thought we didn't cut long ago, but we haven't. So
And I just was checking the Richard Skinner videos up to 54 views.
wow, that's our best.
That's our best one, yes. So thank you, Richard.
Yeah, thank you, Richard. Thank you, Organic Growth. So today we have a pretty cool show because we have an interview for you. We talked to Kevin Johnson yesterday for a while. Kevin was a Bearcat basketball player, graduated in 2017, I think. Went to the NCAA tournament 4 times, was an incredible defensive player, just caused all kinds of havoc on the court. And he's now a case manager for a behavioral health company here. And so we talked about the correlation between what he learned in sports and what he's doing now. And he was just an all-around great guy.
Fantastic guy. And he really touched upon, teamwork, being part of a team and how that applies to what he does today. And also, something that a lot of the folks we work with, run into some adversity. And so he shared a little bit about adversity too. And so it was really a pleasure getting to know him and getting to talk to him.
Yeah, he's got a lot of energy. He's an exciting kid. You'll hear some references in the interview to conversation that we had previously. That conversation was last week when we interviewed him for the first time and didn't record it. So this is actually our second interview with Kevin.
Well, we attempted to record.
We
it.
did
It
try,
was,
yeah.
We didn't have Amanda available. Somehow we seem to have lost Kevin.
The learning curve in internet, audio, video, radio is pretty high. So we're learning. All right, Amanda, we're going to play the interview for you and then we'll be back.
Alrighty, don't forget you guys will be in a box in the corner, so don't do anything suspicious.
Suspicious. To have Kevin Johnson with us. For those of you who are Bearcat fans, Kevin was a 4-year letterman at UC, went to the NCAA tournament 4 times,
Yes,
and
sir.
had quite a career. We are talking with Kevin today about his time with the Bearcats and more importantly, kind of about what he's doing now and how he's applying what he learned from years and years of organized basketball to his job as a case manager now with GCB. So Kevin, thanks very much for being with us. We really appreciate it.
I'm glad y'all having me, man. I appreciate it myself.
Yeah. Kevin, tell me a little bit, if you would. You had a wonderful career. You had some great wins. Tell me about a time that you had to overcome adversity, though, and how you did that.
Man, like I said, I know we did this once before, but I got 1,000 stories
That's what
of just adversity in general. But the main thing that stick with me over like a course of 4 years that I kind of share with like a lot of kids that I speak with, talk to, would be just it started with playing time. We could just say, okay, even my freshman year, or it could be my junior year, or any year, any point in the game, because as a competitor, you always want to be in the game, right? And being young and being fresh to a high Division I program, I had all these dreams of coming in, starting right away, playing all these minutes. You know, you kind of think you might be the next Michael Jordan, and then reality hits you, and you realize that, oh crap, I might only play 5 minutes. And you know, that was some adversity I had to face. But instead of me kind of getting upset, you know, not listening to my coach, not being with the team, I embraced it. You know what I mean? I embraced it. I wanted to challenge it. And the way I challenged it, and that when I say it, I mean the adversity, is just showing up to practice every day and playing to win. You know, not really worrying about the playing time, listening to my coach, listening, doing things that I can do to improve. And then when I get my opportunity, do the best I can do. So, you know, when I look at adversity, and even, you know, if we compare it to what I do now with the clients, they face a lot of adversity, whether it's the mental health, family support, et cetera. You know, it's figuring out a way to challenge the adversity. And that could be many things, but you got to do some soul searching, and, you know, you got to really want to challenge it, and you'll overcome it.
You know, the first time I heard that phrase, challenge the adversity, was when you said it a couple of weeks ago, and I've been using it. So thank you. It's a great one.
Speaking of Michael Jordan, did you watch The Last Dance? Have you?
I did. You know, I watched it.
It was fantastic, wasn't it?
You know, for me, it was great because I'm really like a Kobe era fan. Like, you know, Kobe Bryant was more of my Michael Jordan. Outside of maybe 6 rings and some cool basketball shoes that everybody still buy today, I really didn't know the deep down, you know, backstory of Michael Jordan. So for me, as a young player who really liked basketball, it was awesome to actually see them put that documentary together and just learn how tough Michael Jordan was, and that's why he's successful. You know, he faced a lot of adversity, even through the highest of the moments, you know, and was still able to overcome it, because he took on that as a challenge. So, you know, that was a great docuseries. So
when I watched it, he had just so many incredible game-winning shots. I know you've had a few in your life. Is there one that really stands out to you that you just, you know, just you're on cloud nine, you still think about it today?
I mean, the biggest one, the biggest one in my book would probably be my freshman year UFC game. That was pretty big. The most probably memorable one is the UConn game for sure. A couple daggers there, even though it wasn't the best outcome. That was a memorable moment. But I mean, it's so many times. You know, it's crazy because you guys only get to see the games, but you know, the practices were like games for us. You know what I mean? It would be so much to happen in practice too that, you know, it felt like a game. And I had some pretty cool stuff happen in practice with some shots too. That's in my memory bank as well. You just didn't see that one. But those were awesome times, man.
So for the people that are listening, the UConn game was triple overtime. You hit a shot with less than a second to go for a 3-point lead, and 99 times out of 100 that doesn't. But it didn't happen that day. It went 4 overtimes because you a 70-foot shot with no time.
Yeah, that was crazy. Went 4 overtimes, and UConn got us at the end. It was a battle. But it was a good battle, man.
Do you remember what the coaches said to you after UConn hit that shot? Do you remember what the coaches said to you and to try to get you guys to respond? Because I know it had to be quite a blow.
Yeah. The thing is, in that moment, like I say, Mick was. I mean, at this point, he was like, you know, whatever we got in us, we need to fight. Just fight. Just keep playing. You know, it's what it is. Because honestly, you know, he was livid that they even counted it as a basket. So, you know, we had to kind of let that emotion go and just go play the game. You know what I mean? And even though we felt that this shouldn't have happened, and, you know, you got to get over it. They called what they called. And, you know, he told us to go out there and play the game the best we could. We came up short. Like I said, it was conference tournament. So we knew we had a locked in. We was just playing for bidding at that time, and of course for a championship for the conference. But overall, it was no pressure. It was let's go out here and fight. do what we do. And we had the players to do it, just came up short. Which happens sometimes, but you live to see another day.
You said one time, you have good nights, you have bad nights, we're all human. But what puts a smile on my face is the culture and being with my team.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about the culture that you learned as a Bearcat.
So the main thing I learned, when you're playing basketball at that level, there's a thin line between what makes a team good and what makes a team great. You know what I mean? Because mostly everybody there is talented and everybody got a pretty good team. So you can be beat on any night. But what makes a great team is the team leadership and the camaraderie. It's completely being together. Everybody all in. Everybody got the same purpose. And then you tend to figure out when we all on the same wavelength like that, success just happens. And just like I'm doing now, I work for GCB Claremont County as well as Hamilton County as well. And I'm on a ACT team, which is a team that, deals with very severe clients, but we are together. We meet every day, got to be on the same page with the same goal. And even in mental health, what a lot of people know is communication can be hard. And if as a team, if you continue to communicate and continue to stay on that same wavelength with each other, I mean, you're going to get the goal accomplished. You know what I mean? And if you do come up short, it's got to be a barely. It's got to be a barely, and which gives you confidence at all times. So teamwork is, at Cincinnati, what do you do when you go down, like a Purdue game, down 7 with 45 seconds left, our head coach is our assistant coach this year, and we could have crumbled right then and there. But I'll never forget, we all came together. We still in this game. 45 seconds is enough time. Next thing you know it, I hit a 3. We come down, hit another bucket. They miss a free throw. Troy come down, hit the game-winning tie. You know what I mean? Then we go over to overtime. We beat them in overtime. But that's what the team had to believe. And if I didn't believe it, and if Troy didn't believe it, and whoever else was on that court together, if that one person didn't believe it, we could have all, completely crumbled, but we came together. And when you're on that same wavelength, good things happen. And those are little like stories that I can relate to now, where we're trying to get somebody over the hump, and it's hard. But if she's over here working and I'm over here working and we got that same mission, we tend to help some of our clients raise to a better place. So, teamwork is amazing. It's amazing.
And that's what we pride ourselves here on the Recovery Center. And, I've always been of that philosophy, no one person's greater than the team. And it takes a whole team to be successful, whether you're trying to help that one individual in their recovery or whether you're trying to run a whole organization. It kind of starts, at the top is with your coaches. They kind of set the tone. Like, where it stood out for me with teamwork with you guys was defense. And defense is, you can have 5 really good defensive players working in unison. They can get down and the team is just huge. And that's why I always enjoyed watching you guys play. Is that the defense and teamwork.
It was tremendous. I'm being honest, and actually being in it was amazing because the communication was extreme. We from our 5-man playing the center, telling us when pick and rolls are happening. We got our wings covering the corners, helping on the wings. We had the top guys delivering ball pressure, complete havoc. It was insane. Like, if you understood the amount of teamwork, and then completing the play, everybody finding the man, boxing out, rebounding, and then starting our break. When you break it down like that, it takes an amazing amount of communication and like I say, just kind of being on that same wavelength, having that same mission and goal to accomplish those things. And we felt good hurting people to 40 points per game. Mm-hmm. That was special to us. Most people scoring 60s and 70s. You play the Bearcats, you score 40. You know what I mean? We really hung our heads on it, and we loved it, and that's what we all wanted to be a part of.
Yeah, nobody crashed the offensive boards like you guys did.
Oh yeah, but see, those are the things that you do that we call intangibles. It's just because you got that same goal and mission as your teammate, and you just want to do the job that you can do to help complete that goal, you know. And that's the coolest part about teamwork. I mean, that's the coolest thing about having a team.
Is there anybody that you patterned your game after that you kind of role modeled or looked up to as far as a basketball player?
You know, what's funny is as I was growing older, I watched a lot of YouTube videos in my high school years, and I was a really big fan of Tyreek Evans at the time. Back when I started basketball, it was all for fun. So I actually used to love watching And One mixtape.
Mhm.
That was a big thing for me and when I was a kid. So that kind of transpired the whole like handling the ball and like, you know, doing the tricks. Like I really loved that about the game of basketball. And then when I was able to start to grow and I was able to dunk, that became something I really enjoyed about the game. So as I got older, man, about around high school, I really was trying to perfect this crossover. Like the crossover in the game was just like, it was kind of reinvented. It was like the Allen Iverson crossover, but a little bit better, a little bit more hesitation. And Tyreek Evans was that guy for me, man. I used to watch him a ton.
Did he play was he at Memphis? Is that where he played?
He played at Memphis with John Calipari, yep.
And he was in the, I think he's still in the NBA.
Still in NBA. He was the rookie of the year for Sacramento. Went through some injuries, but I mean, he a pure gamer. This is New York. I like a lot of New York style basketball. It's kind of where I kind of started originally watching the game. So just a lot of those, but that's the main one. And then the next, like my great hype, Kobe Bryant, of course. You know, every kid wanted to probably be Kobe Bryant at my age. So definitely Kobe. You know what I mean?
Kevin, you alluded to high school. When you went to high school, you went to Summit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you went to play football, didn't you?
Yep.
How did you get over to basketball?
So when I got to Summit in 8th grade. I actually got my scholarship playing football. Now, I had already been playing basketball. It was my second sport. It was like at the time it was the thing that I did in the winter. You know what I mean? It was my winter activity. So I play AAU basketball. I actually played with a team when I was growing up called the Cincinnati Knights, which we played on the scene. Like, you know, we would go to Indianapolis and Cleveland, Columbus. So I played really intense style basketball, but I really wasn't the best. Like I was just that defensive guy. But you could tell I played football, you know, and I would figure things out. But skill level, I still was working. I didn't start probably taking basketball serious until my 9th grade year. That's when I started wanting to focus more on skill work, skill leveling, my handle, my shot form, all the small things, because I started learning the game more. And then I started having more friends, and this is crazy. I started having more friends playing basketball than football. Mm-hmm. So I went through a school change, of course. That was different. And Summit football, now I'm going to bring this back for a quick second. I went to St. Teresa Little Flower before Summit. And that football was intense. Like that was good middle school football. A lot of those kids went on to play LaSalle, and they all were really good. And it was crazy because it was conjoined. So 7th and 8th grade played together. So I was used to playing against a kind of a faster competition, a better competition, honestly, because a lot of those kids would go on to bigger schools and kind of play. When I got to Summit, my weapons weren't the same. And I played quarterback, and there was a lot of hits going on for me. And I just told Dad, I say, man, you know what, Dad, I'm done with it. I'm going to play basketball. And we focused up a lot of my sophomore year summer, focused on a lot of skill work, developing my game. From there, I was a one-sport athlete. I knew I wanted to go play D1. Had no. At the time, I really wanted to go to Wake Forest, but I really was motivated about that. And from there, man, it was just hard work, a lot of hard work. I'll tell you that, a lot of hard work. And then, of course, I play AAU on the scene, and then things just came together. Things started to come together.
You got me traveling down memory lane for myself because I played in that same football league, and we won the 7th and 8th grade championship back in 1981.
That's what I'm saying. That's a legit league.
Those guys all go on to play at St. X,
Elder, LaSalle. It was legit. Like I came from playing like little league football in my neighborhood, which was really intense. So I was used to intense football. Now, when I got there, it got more structured. And then the kids, it was no weight limit. So the kids was like, whoa, that's the linebacker? Okay. Now this is real football. And we had a legit team too. So I didn't play on a bad team. So I had big dudes blocking. We had a really good running back. I mean, we were good. We had a good coaching staff. So I really enjoyed football there. But when I changed, and of course, my parents, let me go to Summit for academics, of course, which was very important to them. The whole sports thing wasn't really a thing for my parents. It was an activity. And then I, just developed at it. And Summit, just a little too small, and we just didn't have enough protection back there. So basketball it was. I didn't have a choice. So I was like, you know what? We're going to switch sports.
That was a good choice. It's interesting, too, because I played football and basketball, and all my friends, my closest friends as of today, guys I played basketball with growing up. And it's just something about basketball and that camaraderie of just 5 of you together. And, obviously there's some other guys.
It's way more family. I mean, it's less numbers. So, of course, you guys bond a little bit. And like I say, I was on a court where, when you left, we got to talking about this. And it was funny because I'm like, we went to New Mexico. He brought up the New Mexico game, and he was asking me some questions about that. And I was like, yo, it was insane. I was like 17, 18 years old. It was my first road game. And we were going to play like a legit team. And I'll never forget, I seen Kirk and Barrowstow. It was like the 5 and the 4 man. Some of the biggest big men I had seen at the time. And I'm like, what? So we get there. I mean, the arena is 17,000. They let cannons off. They know everything about you. It was just insane. And, pretty much, man, it was just crazy because, and back, where you just asked me before I was just going on a tangent here? Just forgot. Because I was tying it into something that we was talking about. It was funny.
Oh, we were talking to football before that.
And he mentioned something that made me want to talk about the New Mexico thing.
I'm glad you did. Let me set it up a little bit. So you're a freshman.
Yeah.
UC is 7-0. All of your games were played at home, so you hadn't played on the road yet.
That's where I was headed. So we lost that game. And, I never forget, we went in there. It was I want to say it was like our first loss. And we went in the locker room. SK was upset. Titus was upset. I mean, because they basically rolled all over us that game. Like we didn't have it in, at one point in the game, we didn't seem close. So, but we get back to Cincinnati, and I never forget, we was in the locker room, and like SK and Justin was just like looking at us, and I'm like, young freshman. He's like, we really need y'all. Like we have to come together. This is our last year. We can't lose. And I never forget, we all sat in there. I mean, practice got more intense, and we went on a 15-game win streak. 15 games. And we had all these doubts. Everybody was doubting us because they did. They threw us around. They did. New Mexico threw us around. It was a learning experience for us. And, at this time, we still had Louisville to play. We had Memphis to play. We had UConn to play with Sebastian Napier. I mean, we had a schedule for them. You know what I mean? So it was looking like, they might lose this year. And we won 15 games straight. And, back to just team, back to just believing and having that same goal and wanting to win. Like it was amazing. Like that's the cool things I got to witness about, like, seriously being a team. Like it's better to be, I hate to say it, but it's football. I like a lot of football friends too, but they're not as close as the teammates as we were as teammates.
Are you still playing basketball today? You play in leagues anywhere?
If we wasn't in quarantine, man, I was in the gym every day. So I coach over at Summit. So I'm the coach that can play. I'm the coach that's the scout team's best player. And coach is giving them 30, and they like, well, that kid won't do that tomorrow. And I'm like, you're right. He won't do that. I like to give him a hard time. Yeah, man, I'm not too far off, man. I was playing in Venezuela last summer. Was doing really well there, but just the conditions weren't clear to play. So I came home early, but did exceptionally well there, and it was a great experience for me.
And you're back with the Bearcats now, right? For the broadcast.
Yep. So I do 700 WOW with Dan Hoare. I fill in for Terry Nelson when he does TV for Fox.
Okay.
So I do some game analytics there. I also do a little bit of stuff with Channel 5, WOWT with Sports Rock. Kind of talk about the Bearcats on that end as well. I love my Bearcats, and then, I like the growth because it's a whole new thing now from what our mottos and our things were too. So it's fun to just watch them now. I mean, I love what Brennan's doing. Coaching staff's awesome. The culture's still awesome. So I love to support the guys.
It is a little different. I love that you still call it the Shoemaker Center.
Oh yeah, that's somebody that's from here. Even when I was playing at Fifth Third Arena, I used to be like the shoe, and all my boys were like, "What? Why do you say that?" And the cool part about it was we actually was there early enough before they actually took it off the building. Mm-hmm. So I used to tell them, like, that used to be what it was called. Like, they just turned it into the whole Fifth Third Arena thing. But they still used to have a big sign on the wall that said the Shoemaker. But a lot of people wouldn't know that. But yeah, I call it the shoe, man. I love the gym now because it's all techie and all new. But I used to love the warehouse look. That's why Butler is a great place to play. That old school feel, it get loud. The gym doesn't get as loud now. I'm
gonna go really old school on you because this is gonna be before you were born. But the legendary coach John Wooden, coached UCLA, won 10 in a row, I think, national titles. One of the things we do is, besides being a great coach, he was just a great human being. He had just phenomenal philosophy of life, and we take little bits of his philosophy and we covered at the very end of the show. So, he talked a lot about integrity. He talks about helping others. And so I was curious as to maybe one thing you learned from your coaches, high school, college, AAU, that kind of really stands out, that kind of made you a better person today in doing what you're doing.
The main thing was use your platform to be a better person. Don't be a jerk. Most people with platforms get a little bit of power, get a little bit of notoriety, young. You can take that a certain few ways that could be negative towards others. But when you open up to people, be the first person in the room to say, hi, how are you doing? Don't ever be down. Don't ever be afraid to ask, hey, you need some help. Push the door open for someone. Just use your platform to be a better person, to teach someone else to be better. That, it's all even field. You know what I mean? Just because I'm a basketball player and you see me on TV makes me no different than the guy walking down the street, and for me, that's just my motto. I'm just a normal human being. I like to do people right. I would do my family right. So I would want people to do my family right. I do your family right. I'm a fair guy. And I just enjoy seeing other people happy. And once you understand that, basketball is just a part of the life game. It's something that I was able to do. God blessed me with my legs and arms to be able to do it. So I was able to take some time and have some fun with something I loved. But that doesn't make you a cooler person or something. Just be a good person, help people. And I've been blessed with some really good coaches. And even Mick Cronin, I always made sure we stay grounded. And now that I'm an adult, that's something that you learn today is, and people love grounded people. People love humble people, Sometimes the jerk isn't the coolest guy. So, that's something that they kind of instilled in a lot of us leaving Cincinnati. Because it was a kind of a stigma for a while there with some of the players, even with Bob Huggins leaving, for a while it was a stigma of what a UC player would be like, and it was cool to be able to change that culture. Because, I know we were, really, they loved us because we played well. I get that. But, truly, I feel the love more than I do off the court in my today's life than I do on the court, So, and that's just being a good person.
The word on Kevin Johnson from your coworkers is that you are using your platform to be a better person and to make other people's lives better. But I got to tease you a little bit. I heard you were rocking the 25 jersey in a team meeting the other day.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they don't have those.
No.
They don't have those, I love my 25, man. And, Rupert Patterson actually reached out to me via Twitter one day and made a comment on my 25 too. But yeah, I love my 25, and I rock it here and there. You see, I got my jersey hanging up back there.
I see that. You like it.
I got my jersey. I was gonna go around my whole living room with them, but I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'll leave them at my mom and dad's house.
If I want to get a 25 jersey for the Recovery Center, a signed one, how do I go about doing that?
Hey man, I got something for you. We can do that. I'll be down with that.
That'd be great.
That would be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
I would be super down with that, man. I got so many of them. I leave them at home because my dad always on me about keeping them for my son now. So, but I got tons of them. So I would be down to definitely do that. You want me to just give it to you signed and you guys get it framed? You want it framed or what?
We'll take care of getting it framed. If you just get us a jersey and you sign it, that'd be awesome. We'll get it hung up here.
I got you, man. I can make that happen this week, honestly.
That'd be great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I got y'all, man.
We're a peer-run organization, Kevin, so all the people in the building have a lived experience with mental illness, right?
Yeah.
And we provide peer support to each other. And the reason it works is because we can be empathetic. We understand each other. And you had a great relationship with a guy that came in the same year you did, Troy Copain. Mm-hmm. And you guys, tell me a little bit about your development of your relationship.
So I actually met Troy. He was on a visit our junior year of high school. He was there to watch a game. I never forget, Alabama was playing Cincinnati because Cashmere Wright hit the game-winning shot that day. And the crazy part was that summer prior to when I seen Troy during the Bearcat season, I played him at this West Virginia tournament. And we was in the semifinals and our team actually got into an altercation. It's crazy. So we actually seen each other at the game. It was like, he was sitting there and I was sitting there and I'm like, I know you. And he's like, I know you. And he's like, who you play for? He's like, I play with Team Loaded. I'm like, I play for OBC. He like, we got into a fight. Like our teams did. I'm like, we did. Y'all the red team. He's like, I was the point guard. I'm like, well, I was the point guard. Like, what? So it just clicked that from that day on. And from that day, I never forget, he called me. He called me on a June 3rd, and he was like, yo, I'm coming to Cincy. What you gonna do? And I'm like, at this time, I think I just got done visiting Butler, Tennessee, and Seton Hall. And I'm like, I really want to play in the Big East. You know what I mean? But my parents wanted me to go to more of a smaller school with, like, academics. I'm like, bro, I don't know, but I'm from here. And I really want to stay home. And he committed June 3rd. I came around and committed June 11th. He came up, and we had been friends. He came up for his spring break that senior year, and we probably never looked back from that point on. We've been tight ever since. Like, we came in together, and we ended it together. So you got to think, it's like we graduated together. We went through just through everything. Good games, bad games, people talking about you, people congratulating you. And one thing I can say why we so tight was because our bond was genuine. It's just about being a good person, a good brother to him. You know what I mean? He felt the same way. And that just carried on the court. He's competitive, I tell you that. He's still competitive today. He still think he can beat me because he play more now. And, I still tell him he's still slow and lazy. So we still go. We still go back and forth.
You guys had a lot in common in that when he was playing for Team Loaded, the press came out and said, "This guy's diving all over the court, man. He's just relentless."
And that dude got passion, man. That's one of the most passionate people. He bring it out of me. He is a passionate person, I'll tell you that. And that's why he's a great leader, though, man. Playing with Troy was awesome. Like, I mean, it was actually fun. And it was fun for us to develop with each other. Because for a while, we were battling the same position. And a lot of people don't know this. We competed at each other at a high level at practice our first year and a half. About a year and a half where I was still a tweener. I really wanted, I was telling Cronin I felt like I was more of a point guard than a shooting guard. So we would battle. We would battle it out, you know what I mean? And we would go home and be the best of friends. People could never figure it out. I mean, we would literally get into shoving and pushing and F you, and then we literally go back to our room. We was roommates and, like, kick it. Like, you know what I mean? That's how we were on the court. It was competitive, you know what I mean? And we the same now, you know, but it's great. That's our friendship, and it's just so genuine. His parents, our parents are close. You know, it go deep now. You know, grandpa is my grandpa. Got to check in with him every now and then. So it's deep. That's a good dude, man.
Well, Kevin, I really appreciate you joining us today and kind of sharing some of your stories, and we really appreciate the work that you do in the community, and just thank you so much.
No, man, I appreciate you guys, man, and I'm gonna get that jersey to you guys too. I think that's awesome.
Hey, Kevin, thanks very much, and thanks for your patience. I got two things I want to share. Earlier, you said figure out ways to challenge adversity, and I love that. And you also said focus on what you can control. Don't worry about the stuff that's beyond your reach. You got to focus on what you can control. And I think those are two great things to keep in mind. So thank you very much.
I mean, I'm being honest. Those are things that I truly hold in my heart. I mean, I'm a young man, new family. You know, a lot of nerves that I probably people wouldn't even know. You know what I mean? But I can control what I can control. You know what I mean? As long as I'm doing the best that I can in the ways, you know, to support myself, my family, things always work out. So don't get so caught up and overwhelm yourself. Just, you know, go through the process, control what you control, man, and just remain happy.
Thank you very much. And congratulations. You have a son now?
Yes, sir, man. I got the Kevin Johnson III, man. So we keeping it going.
Very nice.
Third.
Congratulations.
So we'll be soon seeing him 20 plus years from now.
That would be awesome.
Kevin, thanks for your time, and thanks very much for what you're doing now professionally. You know, as a person who has been through the process, I appreciate what you do. Thank you.
No problem, man. I'm glad to be here doing it. So I thank you guys for having me.
Yep.
Take care.
Thanks, Kevin.
Have a good one, man.
You too.
Well, there it is, the Kevin Johnson interview. What do you think?
Kevin did a great job. Such a positive personality, and you know, if he stays in the field he's in, I think he'll be a big force in helping to change people's lives.
Yeah, I think so too. He was a lot of fun. He had some great stories. That interview was 2 weeks in the making. So,
Yes.
Yeah, so I can't believe we actually played it, and it's done. But he's a wonderful guy. Great philosophy on life. He said something that I wrote down in that interview. He said, "Use your platform for good, whatever your platform is." And I think that's very cool, because we all have a platform, and you know, focus on what you can control, and do it for the good.
Let's talk sports. I got
a
couple sports updates for you. Number one, if you're into hockey, which I'm not,
I am.
but NHL hockey is going to start back up, and they're going to jump right into the playoffs. It's going to be like a March Madness type NCAA tournament where they're set it up in tournament format. I think they're going to play out of 2 cities and wind it down to one eventual champion.
I love it.
So the NHL's got their act together.
Are they going to have fans?
They are not. I do not believe they're having fans. But I did see something interesting where a soccer team was having cardboard cutouts of fans. And they had like 10,000 cardboard cutouts, and they put masks on them, and it looked fantastic.
I like that. Too much time on somebody's hands.
Yes, I don't know who had the time to do that, but somebody was really into it because they were very good. The NHL's got their act together. Major League Baseball, I can't say the same.
Is this still the Players Association?
Still no news on when they might start, if they're even going to start. Of course, you know, they're fighting over money, millionaires fighting with billionaires, to make sure that they each get what they feel is the right amount, rather than you know, trying to do what we all do here, which is look at the community and the greater good that can be done. So who knows? We'll have to see. Hopefully I'll have some positive news, because it would be great to see baseball bring some hope back to what's going on in this world. And you know, it's great to see the NHL doing it the right way, and hopefully Major League Baseball will learn from that.
I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
I haven't told you. I haven't told anyone. I've been watching Korean baseball.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, there's a former major leaguer. I think Matt Williams was the manager of Major Leagues.
Yep.
is managing over in Korea.
Matt, did you say Matt Williams?
Yeah.
The Giant third baseman?
I believe in Arizona
like Matt
Diamondbacks.
Williams.
Yeah.
If I had a doppelganger in the Major League Baseball, it'd be Matt Williams.
Matt Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw mine the other day. I was watching The Last Dance. People used to call me. I used to get called two names. One was Chambers for Tom Chambers. I'm like, man, that guy's like almost
7 feet tall. Yeah.
I said Craig Elo. I could pass for Craig Elo. And then I saw Michael Jordan hit the game-winning shot off of Craig Elo, and I was like, maybe I don't want to be Craig Elo. But he was still a very good basketball player.
I thought you were going to go Kurt Rambis, the glasses.
I've never had the goggles.
No.
You're
still Phil Mickelson to me.
I'm a huge Kurt Rambis fan.
Yeah.
Love Kurt Rambis. When him and Bird went at it, that was just awesome. That was some great basketball watching the Lakers and the Celtics back then.
Yep.
Speaking of basketball, on a sad note, Coach Jerry Sloan, he was the coach of the Utah Jazz, took them to the NBA Finals twice, just recently passed away. And so there was some sad news coming out of the NBA in regards to that. And then the final piece of news is college sports.
Yay.
Getting ready to start practice.
I like that a lot.
So they have, I think, worked out a plan for, I know like Ohio State and a lot of the other universities are getting ready to start back to practice. So that's a positive sign that hopefully we'll see some college football and some other college sports here in the fall.
Is that all sports?
I believe it's for all sports.
Practice?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I think starting June 1st. Yes.
Right.
So that's exciting.
You know, we had an anniversary 2 days ago and we didn't talk about it, but I'm sure you remember this. Jose Canseco playing center field gave up a home run off his head. Remember that play?
I do remember that play.
Yeah,
looked like me in Little League.
Yeah, the anniversary of that wonderful play was a couple days ago.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things to watch growing up was the bloopers.
Yeah,
I love the bloopers. That was a big one, and there are a few other ones just like that. They're always fun to watch with baseball. Well, we do a little trivia.
Yep. And
we have a little trivia. I think Bill's going to read off. I'm going to send it off to everybody who's on our chat here.
So I like this question. Who was the youngest player to appear in a Major League Baseball game in the modern era? That is the 20th and 21st century. Not 20th. I mean, yeah, that's right. Yep. This is the 21st now. Youngest pitcher to appear in a Major League Baseball game. And if you know how old he is, that's extra credit, or he was.
And we can give you a hint. He was a Cincinnati Red.
He was. Yep. What? This was in 1944 during the war, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of why he got the opportunity. A lot of major leaguers were off fighting in the war, and baseball teams were, I don't know if I'd say desperate, but it sounds like if you're 15 and you're in the major leagues, you're pretty desperate.
So you got part of the answer there.
Oh, we have a response, and it is Mary Hornback, and she is correct.
Good job, Mary.
Nuxall.
Thank you. And how old was he? He was 15. You already said that.
Yes.
So Joe Nuxall was 15. He was brought in the ninth inning. The Reds were behind 13-0, and he proceeded to get shelled. He gave up 5 walks, 2 hits, and I think 5 earned runs. And then he was out of the majors for 8 years. He didn't come back to the major leagues until 1952. He played how many years?
16 years in the major leagues, 15 of them with Cincinnati, and he was famous for his signature radio sign-off, which was rounding third and heading for home.
Which now graces the ballpark.
Well, we have our weekly sports joke.
Yeah.
It's my turn.
So this is the part where the show goes off the rails. You might want to turn away.
So I'm trying to do better than the last one I had, which was, why do golfers have 2 pairs of pants?
Mm-hmm.
In case you get a hole in one. So this week's sports joke is, how is a baseball team similar to a pancake? Bill, how is a baseball team similar to a pancake?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
And
how's a baseball team similar to a pancake?
And I wish I could respond if anybody has an answer on chat, but my computer screen just went blank.
Uh-oh.
So technical difficulty on my end.
Hey, you know what though? For technical difficulties, I can live with that one.
I can.
After all we've been through, that one's okay. Yeah, we're still on.
So I know all of you out there are dying to hear the answer.
How is a baseball team similar to a pancake, Chris?
They both need a good batter. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad. They both need a good batter.
Okay.
Is it better than mine?
Yes.
0-1.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right. So on a more serious topic, the wisdom of John Wooden. So we've been sharing this at the end of each episode.
Yeah.
And some great points that John Wooden has made in his book. Starting off with having integrity, and then I think they're laughing in the other room at our joke. Like, trying to do the serious topic, and they're laughing at us. Helping others, and then
They were laughing with us.
and then his third point was make each day your masterpiece. In order to have a better tomorrow, you gotta focus on really having a very good today.
That sounds a lot
great
like
today.
mindfulness.
So very much so, which we do a lot of here at the Recovery Center. So his fourth point is to drink deeply from good books. And John Wooden himself, he read a lot of Shakespeare. He read a lot from the Bible. Also read a lot of poetry. And his dad often reminded him that you never learn a thing that you didn't learn from someone else.
I like that.
I thought it was a really good point.
Yeah, I like that.
And good books out there help us to do that. And I don't know. I personally was never much of a reader growing up. I'm just now starting to get more.
Just
into
gonna
it.
ask you.
And I don't know if are you a reader?
I like to read, yeah. But you know what I do? I read the same books over and over.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. I have like 5 books that are my top 5,
Okay.
and I read them over. So, what do you reading now?
I've always been more of a magazine reader, but I have been reading a book that I really enjoy. It's about a guy who was a Navy SEAL, of all things. I get him to sign my shirt.
Remember the first show?
And just the things that he learned from being a Navy SEAL and how he tries to instill that in his kids to be a good parent. And
I just feel like that would be a letdown for me, trying to learn from a Navy SEAL. I need something a little lower, like a Boy Scout maybe.
So I'm about 2/3 of the way through the book, and once I finish it up, maybe I'll once I finish that book, I can have that to kind of piggyback off the wisdom of Wooden,
The wisdom
kind of
of the
share
Navy
the wisdom of a Navy SEAL.
SEAL. Yeah.
So we'll keep bringing you some good tidbits from John Wooden's book.
Yeah.
To wrap up each show.
Yeah. Is that where did we run it to the end?
I think we ran it to the end. We were almost out of
How
time.
about that?
So thank you again to Kevin Johnson.
Yeah, thank you,
And,
Kevin. That was
looking
awesome.
forward to having a jersey here at the Recovery Center.
Yes.
And wish everybody a great day.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. Have a good day.